Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. What I want to record a video on today stems from a guy I was coaching yesterday. Good player, playing off a 6 handicap, had been down to a 3 handicap before, so knew how to get the ball into the hole, but we found some real issues with the transition, what his lower body was doing at the start of the downswing. And the effect that was having was creating a slightly upward angle of attack with irons. For a lesser golfer, I think it would have either been causing heavy or thin strikes, but as a better golfer, he still managed to get the ball somewhere near the centre of the golf club. His poorer ones, sure, were a little low out the club, but they weren't anywhere near what you'd class as a topped shot or a thin shot. He was still able to make contact, but I think that was just quality of player more than anything else. But he was getting some real difficulties with his transition, what his lower body was doing, and it ended up causing his hands and arms to get a little bit overactive through impact, having some issues with controlling face. So what he was doing was getting into a really good top of the backswing position, but what we saw as the first move was an excessive slide of the lower body working towards the target. Now, it is true that from the top of the backswing, we want to start to increase pressure into our lead leg, but what he was doing was the hips were sliding towards the target, creating a lot of side bend with his upper body away from the target. So you get two sorts of players from there. Some where they slide their hips towards the target, also allow their head to go, and they get way ahead of it, and they're going to be hitting down on the golf ball, really flighting it very, very low, struggling with their woods and their longer clubs, finding a really deep divot. They'll hit their short clubs a long way, but no real control over the distance or the spin, and they'll really struggle elevating longer clubs. So that's the person who slides with their lower body and gets their upper body going with it. What he did as a better golfer is, because his hips were sliding towards the target, the compensation was his head actually moving away from the target, creating a real side bend here in his trail side, in his trail hip. So his lower body sliding towards the target, his upper body tilting away from the target, head moving behind the golf ball, hence that he was creating a slightly upward angle of attack. He was upwards by about 2 degrees, and at the speed he was generating, he should have really been down on it by more like 3 or 4. So we worked on the transition from the top of the backswing, how to centre himself better, that he got very quickly, and then the movement of his hips through impact. So I want to talk about the first move, how we centre ourselves at the start of the downswing. So at the top of the backswing, whether my head stayed centred over the ball or whether there's a slight movement off it, depending on the rotation, the level of flexibility with the golfer, the rotational speeds, I don't mind as long as it's not excessive. So I've turned my trail hip, I've loaded pressure into my trail foot. You can see that means, and I've talked about this before, that my trail hip is higher than my lead hip. What I'm trying to do at the start of the downswing is center my hips before rotating through. Okay, so the move is right hip, trail hip is higher, center the hips, rotate through. And that's what we're really looking for. So what I'm going to get you to do as an exercise, if this is something you struggle with already, is hitting some shots, just doing it as a broken down movement. So what I want you to do is get to the top of the backswing, center the hips, so nose is almost over the top of the ball, hips are more level, and then from there, rotate through. Now we were working on the feeling for him of this belt buckle, and you'll have heard me say it before if you watch some of these videos, moving up and left towards that left corner. So we were doing some broken down swings, stopping at the top, center the hips and the head, and rotate, that feeling of the belt buckle going up and left, rather than this movement, excessive swaying off the golf ball here. That felt great, that felt really solid. I'll just do one more. So stop at the top, Center the hips, pressure's moving into my lead leg, but it hasn't been a slide to get there. Center the hips, and then up and left. And again, a good quality strike. Once you've got that feeling, I'd then go into, by all means, fuller swings with it. But initially, we were using just some broken down movements to be able to achieve that. So let me go ahead and hit a fuller shot doing it. I'm going to get that practice swing first. Center, up and left with the hips. Good strike. Just left that face a little open, something I'm struggling to touch with at the minute. It's probably the weaker one that I'm hitting. Good quality strike, felt out of the center, but just on the poorer one, just feeling like I'm leaving that face a touch open. Numbers aren't too relevant. You can see very similar angle of attack on the little punchy one compared to the full swing. Swing path was in to out by about 3 degrees. Just getting that club face a little bit too open, 5 degrees open at impact, hence that ball staying out right to target. But you can see still a very centered strike. It's a great exercise if you struggle with that, if you feel like you're sliding towards the target too much with your lower body. Upper body tilting away, that's going to cause either heavy shots, thin shots, or an upward angle of attack. Or if you're the kind of golfer where everything slides, big divots, very low ball flight, then work on that transition, how you start the downswing, settling here, so getting into a more centered position before rotating through with a feeling of that belt buckle going more up and left. Hope that video has helped. If it has, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel for all the other content Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.